Hello everyone. As a safety and health officer, your safety is priority. So because of the unforeseen event that happened on 2nd of September 2007, where our two contractors have a symptom for headaches and vomiting when they do the trunk injection. And due of that, we have done a risk analysis that consists of three parts: hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control. This is the highlight form for the trunk injection incident that happened. Part 1: Hazard
By
identification.
referring the case above, we will see the hazard that posed by the trunk injection. The flow are as below. So basically, the driller will remove bark from trunk of the infected palm tree using motorized driller. For this activity, one of the major hazards identified is such as the sharp cutting blades that may cause first-class injuries. Next is the injector. The injector will apply the pesticide by injecting 10 mm pesticide using injection equipment. So for this activity, the major hazard was identified is the use of chemical whereby it can cause health hazard such as nausea, respiratory issues, and also vomiting. Lastly is the sealer. The sealer will close the hole with soil to seal the pesticide inside the trunk. The hazard of this activity it's once more referred to exposure towards chemical. In overall, there are also common hazards faced by the driller, injector, and also sealer, which is hot weather, ergonomic, physical hazard, and also psychosocial of the workers that need to be monitored and eliminated to ease the burden of the workers.
Part 2: Risk Assessment.
Risk assessment. Risk is the determination of likelihood and severity of credible accident or event sequences in order to determine magnitude and to prioritize identified hazards. It can be done by qualitative, quantitative, or semi-quantitative method. For the first work activity for driller, there is no existing risk control to minimize the risk. The likelihood is 4 times 1 for severity equals to 4, which indicate as low risk for the driller. What about the injector? The existing control provided by the management is respirator and also SOP for the trunk injection. However, there is no training on respirator and no induction given by the company for those contract workers. The likelihood is 3 times 3 for severity equals to 9, which indicate minimum risk for the injector. And the last one is for the sealer. The existing control provided by the management is the same with the injector. However, there is also no proper training on respirator and no induction given by the company for those contract workers. Plus, there is no gloves given. The likelihood is 3 times 3 for severity equals to 9, which indicate minimum risk for the sealer. For the other risk is classified as medium risk apart from hot weather that considered as low risk.
Part 3: Risk Control.
Prevention of a hazard in a manner such that the hazard does not pose a risk to workers who have to enter into an area or work on equipment in the course of scheduled work. Okay, using the hierarchy of control or HOC that consists 5 levels listed in order of effectiveness. So what is the 5 level? First is elimination, second substitution, third engineering control, fourth is administrative control, and lastly is personal protective equipment or PPE. Okay, based on the task given to us, the injector recommended to use leader hand glove to reduce exposure for the sharp blades. Okay, for the injector and sealer, the recommended control measure it consists of a few steps, which is first is PPE training and safe work procedure. It must be communicated to all and monitored regularly by the supervisor on the effectiveness of the program. Okay, second is proper chemical safety data sheet or CSDS. It must be available on the site and the supervisor must ensure all the items in CSDS is completed from the vendor. Okay, make sure there is no missing CSDS in every item of chemical itself. Third is PPE issuance and record acceptance, which is supervisor or HR. They need to prepare a checklist when given PPE to the employees to ensure that it is proven and cannot discharge a guilty under Section 15 OSHA 1994 by the court or enforcement department, as they have proof for the PPE issuance itself. Okay, fourth is campaign on wash hand. We know that most of the foreign workers didn't come from developed countries and they didn't know the importance of washing hands with the proper technique. So it's important for the management itself to have a campaign to make them have a better knowledge on it. And lastly is job rotation. It reduces the work time and rotate to other departments to reduce the level of insecticides in the body.